Ah, hey guys. So the unfortunate and I guess inevitable thing happened yesterday. I got injured. My knee popped from a warm-up roll, honestly. And I just want to cover this because while it's still fresh and in a way how ironic it is coming after the video from last week wherein I was talking about some primers for getting started training in jiu-jitsu if you're over 40, right? But I don't want this to come off as a dissuasion in terms of contradicting that video, but I guess that's why I want to start this video with the inevitable because in a way you will get injured one way or another. But what I want to point out that there is something more nuanced and I guess something we have to prepare for a little bit more as older grapplers because unlike when we are younger, injuries are less about an inconvenience or even pain, but it's more like we have to be mindful that it could affect our quality of life because we are older. So yesterday, I during a warm up roll in a 50-50 position, essentially my knee kind of got torqued out by my partner, and it wasn't. I want to point out right now that it's not his fault at all because it's a partner that I trust and I really enjoy training with, and I don't want to. I want to be clear that I'm not putting any blame on my partner on this because we were going really slow and it was just a freak accident in terms of what happened because of multiple factors. That's what I want to cover today, like how to, not how to, but just some reminders to ourselves that we probably don't think about for injury and longevity considerations that we probably should. One, warming up and getting mobility stuff in before your exercise is important. Uh, I, I, I have this, and I think a lot of people do as well, young or old, think that get started with a couple of easy flow rolls will be more than sufficient for a warm up, especially for the joints. Because as the saying goes, if you want to get better at something, do that thing, right? Not do something else. So like with strength and conditioning, a lot of people say that if you want to get stronger and get better in jiu-jitsu, do more jiu-jitsu. Don't go, you don't waste as much energy going to the gym and stuff. I think that has its merits when it comes to improving in that sport itself. But in this case, we're talking about mobility, we're talking about flexibility, we're talking about getting our joints and tendons and ligaments ready for what we are doing. And I think we have to do the warm up and stretching stuff more seriously as we age, or even if you're younger and you have existing injuries in those portions. Now, normally, as you know, I bike going to the gym. Then that functions as an excellent warm up for me, especially from the abdomen down. That allows me to focus my warm ups when I get to the gyms with just my shoulder and neck things for the most part. Because again, a 9 kilometer, 30-minute bike ride is good enough, more than good enough to get my ankles, my toes, my knees, my hip joints all really limber up. So it doesn't really take much, and it feels great rolling right after that. I don't feel like I really need to warm up that much. But yesterday was a little different because it was pouring yesterday, and I couldn't take my bike. I decided to take the bus, and I actually left late. So I arrived at the gym probably like 10 minutes late already, which is fine because again, our lunch sessions are open mats. It's not a class. but I didn't get to warm up. Right, I got there, changed, got my water, etc., cleaned up, and then I went straight to flow rolling with my friend. I didn't really warm up too much other than do like 30 seconds of stationary bike, and that was it. Because I thought that it's a flow roll, so it's okay. Don't do that. Whatever it is that you are doing from a warm up perspective, keep doing that. Spend your 5-10 minutes routine and don't skip that, especially when it comes to your neck, your back, and your limbs. Because again, it really severely affects the quality of life and mobility. Second point is that there is a reason why certain leg locks, heel hooks, and stuff like that are illegal in IBJJF or GI rule set. And obviously, with the no gi centric leg lock centric game, with a no gi leg lock centric game these days, that whole aspect of it's lame to not do leg locks in gis is a common narrative, but until you actually do gi enough and you kind of realize that there are a lot of moves, especially escapes or just basic preemptive moves to defend leg locks is a lot more difficult with gi pants because of the friction. Because there is absolutely almost no way for you to to turn your knees a certain way without torquing your knee because of the friction. So I was wearing gi yesterday, at least gi pants for that roll because we were planning to do some gi rolls yesterday, as you saw with the Tegatami shorts that I posted recently. But unfortunately, again, I was just in the 50-50, coming from what was I doing? I think coming from a reverse De La Hiva, I tried to invert in and then I raised my hip to capture the opposite leg for a 50-50, and then I brought the leg over to the other side, and then my partner was just slowing, trying to posture up and then strip the De La Hiva. I mean that 50-50 um, leg hook, but my pants got stuck on his shorts as he was spinning, and because it was both our first roll, we're both like very tacky in terms of like skin, and sweat condition. We weren't sweating yet. We were like ice cold. So there was a lot of friction in our clothes and everything, and all of that just kind of add up to it. And as he was churning, and I was trying to frame my leg, I think I was using my other leg to post on his armpit to stop him from turning. And then just through that simultaneous slow twist, my knee just went pop, 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 around 5 pops. Um, it was loud enough that even with the speakers blasting, guys that were like 5 meters away just like stopped and looked at me. But the funny thing was, it didn't hurt at that time at all. Like I had no pain at all. It wasn't like like kind of like a heel hook situation. No, it just felt like okay, it was tight, and then go pop 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 pop, and then that was it. Like I felt like there was something wrong, but there was no pain. I was able to roll gently for I think 3 rolls after that, if I'm not mistaken. But towards the end of the session, when I was rolling with JC, my other friend, doing even a De La Hiva hook, for example, I could feel the LCL uh, pain. So I know something was wrong, and it's just gonna get worse the next day. I know, but hopefully it didn't swell and stuff. So I'll give an update a little while. So yeah, gi pants and leg locks, not a good mix. Third, listen to your body as you're getting old, right? I've been training really hard for probably the past 9 months or so, and I have seen tremendous like improvements. Basically, based on techniques and understanding and just like jiu-jitsu stuff in general in my game. I really, really was happy about it. But I also know that typically when I hit my 5, 6 month point where I'm training hard, that's usually my point of high risk injury scenario. So I'm aware of that. So even when I'm like regular in a month or so, for example, when I was still in my white belt time, I was around 40 at that time, I think 40 something at that time. If I trained 3 times a week at wherein I'm hitting probably like my 80 to 90% heart rate, or probably even exceeding my max heart rate level, I can guarantee you that after 2 weeks of that, I'm gonna get sick. I'm gonna fall ill. So over time, I develop a better understanding of what my intensity level should be to allow me to sustain longer training duration, which is what I've been doing for the past year. The heart rate monitor and tracking my heart rate in every session and limiting my training to zone 3, sometimes zone 4, and barely blipping zone 5 at all really helped. And I feel like I almost never get tired from my training, even though I train 5 days a week. I sleep well and all that stuff. I haven't had any lingering injuries. So it has been working well. But last 2 weeks ago, I kind of told myself that I think I need to take a break. Not much, probably just a week or two, to get my body to recover. So mainly just recovering through stretches and exercises and cardio and things like that, and not jujitsu. Something other than jujitsu, just to clear my mind as well from being too tunnel vision on one thing. And I knew that was coming because I admit that I'm a slow learner, so to speak. So I usually give myself at least 3 to 6 months to learn certain things. So the past 6 months or so, for the first quarter, I focused my game on just guard retention, for example, principles of guard retention from inverting, all that stuff. And then the next 3 months, I spent all of it just on passing, understanding how I pass, so I don't I can stay very focused in my training. I don't deviate away from what I plan to do. And my third and fourth quarter plan was to do mostly leg locks. I want to be good at it, not for submission really, but just to understand the confusion about the entanglement positions, hip control, what to do with the lower body essentially, whether from an attack or defense point of view. So that was my plan for the second half of the year. And it's July now, so I felt like, oh, it's the middle of July. I can take the third and fourth week of July off and restart my program in August to reset, because I can feel that my body is starting to kind of lose synchronicity. I don't know if you understand what I'm talking about. It's more like my mind wants to do something, but neurologically, I'm probably processing way too much stuff that I'm trying to offload from my brain after learning all that stuff from the past 6 to 9 months. I needed some break to kind of flush everything so that I'll be ready for the next program. So I'm kind of feeling that disconnect between my mind and my body mechanics. So I felt like it's a good time to take a break. And I was right. But unfortunately, the injury kind of accelerated that. So I think listen to your body, right? If you know your body tendency when you're getting tired, when you're starting to lose more control on what your body how your body feels and what your body is doing, maybe take a step back and just go cold turkey and just take a few days break and see how it goes. But having said that, right, like it's annoying, like, and I'm going to the doctor in an hour to see what's up. I'm hoping that it's just a low grade a low grade issue, but if it's not, then it is what it is. But I'm not mad about anything because again, it wasn't done out of it, it, it was an accident. It wasn't done under malice. It wasn't done under uh, lack of control. It wasn't done out of spazzing or it was just a shitty combination of me not being warmed up, me wearing gi pants, the move itself. We both did the opposite thing, so that kind of happened. So no big deal. But I'm okay with it. I'm positive about it. It's just going to be an annoying inconvenience for the next couple of weeks. But having said that, I don't want this to be a reason for my quality of life to get worse. So as an older grappler, it's a good reminder that we're not in our 30s anymore. Every injury is preemptive disability. So as frustrating as it might be, because I felt like I've improved so much the past year, to the point that I felt that all the time that I've lost during COVID and stuff were I was able to catch up to all the time I've missed to get to where I am now. And I've started this channel and all that stuff. I think all the momentum might be curtailed for the next month or so. But I'm okay. I'm positive about it in terms of what has happened, the stuff that I got out of it. And I'll just focus on rehabbing this and maybe give you guys some insights as to how I dealt with this and what the doctor said. And we'll see how it goes. So, having said that, that's all I have because I have to go to the doctor. And I hope you have a great day. That's all I have. See ya. Bye. So I don't know if you can hear me because it is quite noisy, but I just came from the doctor, and they did the various tests on my leg, and the good news is it appears to be probably just a grade 2 sprain, strain, and it does not appear like I tore anything. They did mention that if I did tear something, I probably would have felt not just like pops, but it would the pain would be a lot sharper right from the start, and you wouldn't have to wait over 24 hours for the discomfort to set in. Um, so essentially, yesterday was still pretty good. As I mentioned, I was still able to roll for like 2, 3 easy rounds after. All the way till the evening, it was just sore, but I could move okay. It wasn't until I woke up this morning after 7 hours of immobility that everything felt really, really stiff and painful, and it put weight on it. I could barely stand up, but after getting probably 5, 10 minutes of walk inside the house, it felt a little better. And as you can see, this is the pace that I can walk at the moment. So it's pretty slow, but I can walk okay without any heavy knee brace. I'm just wearing a normal sports double patella knee support. Um, is it painful? I'd say yes, a little from the ACL hitting the outer meniscus area if I put the weight down as the heel touches the ground, but not really that much. It's not like sharp or anything that makes me wince. Do I feel any instability? Yes, if I make a sudden turn to my left, right? So I need to actively turn my toes and my hips outwards before I turn my body left. Otherwise, I can instantly feel the torque on that LCL area. I still don't have any swelling at the moment. It's been a day now, pretty much. It's 11 o'clock now, so it's almost 24 hours since that happened. And I'm still not seeing, the doctor still didn't see any noticeable swelling comparing my left and right knee. So I think that's a good sign. So we'll see how it goes. I can walk, like I'm walking up a ramp at the moment. I can have decent Achilles flexion and my knees are moving okay. I don't have to, let me put it this way. It's painful, but it's nowhere near as bad as when I have gout. Because when I have gout, I cannot really move. Like, it is painful as shit. It's like thousands of little shards of knives stabbing in your ankle, and that is so awful. But this is quite manageable. It's not comfortable, but it's manageable, and I would say I would take this over gout as long as this goes away. As for what to do next, the doctor did mention that since it doesn't appear to have a tear or anything, monitor it for the next week or so. It should gradually either subside, or even if it kind of stays the same, as long as it doesn't get worse, it should be a good sign. And I can do some light physio stuff for the knee, and I should be fine in 4 to 6 weeks for a full recovery. But he did say that to keep an eye on it because of my age, in case something gets worse and we'll need an MRI for it. But until then, I think everything is relatively good news. Hopefully, this gets a lot better to the point that I probably won't be stubborn enough to go train, but at least be doing normal stuff. Like maybe I can bike again, and things like just walk around without limping. And also shout out to my friend Ian and Shuki for quickly volunteering and offering a knee brace for me to use. I think that will be helpful even for just a week, just so that I don't put as much weight on it and prevent any accidental twists. As for medication, nothing much. I was given painkillers to take in the morning in case it's really bad because of the lack of blood flow and mobility. What else? That was it. Some painkillers, some muscle relaxants if I need it to go to bed, but it's more of a if you need it basis rather than you have to take it. So that's all I have. I think relatively it's all good news. I'll let you know in much shorter videos in the coming weeks how things are. Until then, thanks for watching. I'll see you again next time. Bye!